right, everybody, welcome to another Be Vital podcast. I'm your host, Marcia Hawkins, along with Stephanie Nascimento, owner of and founder of Be Vital in Hadley, Massachusetts, who also has a satellite location at Elevate Living Studio in South Deerfield. And today we're going to be talking about some of the problems we can solve for you through IV drip. So welcome.
Hi, Marcia. How are you today?
Well, I'm feeling great. I just had a drip, so I feel great. Oh, they are amazing. They are absolutely amazing. I feel like I get a little evangelical about them, but I think they're kind of one of those things. People see them popping up all over the place, but I don't think people truly understand what they do and the level of benefits that they can receive by them. So what are some of the issues that are people are coming in for and the drips you would recommend for them?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. A lot of my people are coming in because they know that they're not drinking enough water.
Mhm.
They have very stressful, busy lives, and they're really trying to prevent issues from happening because of dehydration or how that affects their mental health. It really does make a difference when you're well hydrated, even for mental health, and have the right nutrients on board. So a lot of my folks are coming in just because they know how important it is, to get that hydration in, and they leave feeling like $1 million, like you, like you the other
Oh,
day.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, just one of the many reasons why IV therapy is important, and that's another, that's a common question. People are, if they don't walk in already understanding it, they do ask me, is this going to be better for me than all the supplements that I already take at home? Or I eat really good whole foods. Why is this better?
But the reality of it is the absorption of what they're taking at home in a supplement. What is really the true percentage of what they're probably actually getting?
I almost don't want to say it because I want people to take their supplements. There is some that gets in there, but it is very, very little. I believe it's close to 30%.
Yeah, you pretty much pee it out, correct?
Right.
You're not really absorbing it. And I think it's a problem, but I think sometimes psychologically people think if they're taking them, they feel better. To me, it's a placebo effect is what people are experiencing. But with the IV drips, you're getting total absorption on those. I mean, the hydration alone is worth it. There is a reason when you call 911 or you get to a hospital that unless you're in congestive heart failure or do not need fluids, they typically start an IV on you. They
Right.
do. So there's a reason for that. And I think that on top of that, all of the magic potions you have that you can put into the IV bag. Now, I had a Myers cocktail. What else did you put in mine? I forget on Saturday.
Glutathione.
Yes. And what is glutathione good for?
Everything. Glutathione is a powerhouse of an antioxidant. It really helps our body get rid of free radicals, but also it is amazingly cleansing for the liver.
Yeah. I mean, and we punish our liver all the time.
Yes.
Yes, all the time. So yeah, now I actually used to go to a different location to get my drips before you and I connected. And so I understood the benefits of them. And I tell people all the time, like the whites of your eyes just get so nice and white and bright. Your skin glows. You have bounds of energy. You just feel better. And I would imagine that anybody who's dealing with a sluggish liver or they're coming off an illness or they're coming down with an illness, whether it's cold, flu, virus, whatever, that these can almost be like a 1-2 knockout punch because what's the first thing they tell you to do when you get sick? Pound the fluids. What better way than to just completely saturate your system and kind of push that whatever on its way?
Right. Right. If you get a cold, like to use that example, if you get a cold, everyone says push the fluids, make sure you're drinking, make sure you're, hydrating really well. Well, that's easier said than done, right?
Yep.
As we all
Mhm.
know. I have plenty of people that do hydrate quite a bit. They carry their Stanley cup around and they do a
Yeah.
really great job at getting all that water in. The problem is it's not accompanied by electrolytes. And with the way our culture, our medical culture too, has put sodium down, salt down. A lot of people are not getting enough salt in per day, especially if they're not eating processed foods, right? Because we have a lot of salts. Our sodium consumption came from, eating that type of way, eating packaged foods and things like that. So if we're not doing that and we're not taking in electrolytes naturally, then, and our water doesn't really have that in it. So you have to add it in. And if it's not accompanied by that, a lot of people are not hydrating their cells well. So they could be drinking, 64 ounces of water per day, but that does not mean their cells are getting hydrated.
Yeah, off topic. If you consume that much water, what are you doing to your digestive enzymes? Because I used to subscribe to the belief that if you drank water before you had your dinner or whatever, that you would digest your food better. And now I'm not in that camp anymore because of the digestive enzymes.
Right, because of yes, there's so much involved. Honestly, digestive enzymes is a kind of a complicated topic, depending on what your microbiome is in your gut. So everything that is needed for digestion is either produced along the digestive tract or in the gut itself. So if you are depleted in any way and you're just pounding water all day, you're not doing anything to help that.
Right. I really think there's a misconception with that hydration thing, with, like you said, drinking a gallon of water. Because I will tell you, before I realized that, and you are 100% correct, even my functional medicine doctor said, I know they tell you salt is not good for you, but you do need a little bit of salt.
Yes.
I use pink Himalayan salt anyways. I don't use the regular table salt. But I will tell you, like we were talking Saturday, I like to eat a sheet of seaweed every day. And I can tell when I miss a day. I immediately can tell when I didn't take it. I feel, for whatever reason, I feel fantastic on it. But I do believe that before I was like, no salt, no salt. And I would drink, copious amounts of water all day. And I would feel so depleted at the end of the day. I did not have the energy like I do now. So there is definitely something to that. And I also believe that those digestive enzymes, when you just flood them with water, I don't think you're doing yourself the good you think you are, for sure.
Yes, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the other additives, and I do want to talk about the NAD drip because I think that's just to me like, yeah, the president of drips. I love it.
That's a stellar one for sure.
Yeah, but what else can we offer on the drips to the clients for specific issues?
Well, we do titrate according to the patient needs, right? So if there's certain needs there, we can, of course, accommodate that through the selected vitamins because vitamins, they all have an action. And to be able to mix the right bag for that person is really important. There are your multivitamins and your minerals, and depending on what is needed, we can adjust the quantity of that. That's just our regular signature drips, like the Glow. The Glow is for immunity as well as for how your skin appears. That's a really fun one because vitamin C we can't always get in orally. So you can eat your oranges or you can take your supplementation. Again, you're not going to be able to get all of that vitamin C in. And our body can only assimilate and use the vitamin C at around 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Whereas through an IV, you can go all the way up to, which that would be considered high dose vitamin C, which is a different drip, but you can go up to 100,000 milligrams.
Holy cow. So
Yeah.
somebody traveling, maybe they're going out of the country,
Right.
maybe they're, going on a long flight, or they're going to be around a lot of people and they just kind of want to boost their immune system. That sounds like a no-brainer.
Oh, it is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have someone who travels regularly to Jamaica, and she said she gets sick every single time. She said, well, I think it's time I try one of those drips you talk about. So she came in and she did the drip. And when she came back, I saw her a couple weeks later, and she said I had a wonderful time and I did not get sick, and I can't believe it. It was definitely the support of that, having that drip. So that was really nice to hear.
Yeah, and now for me, I mean, I've been getting them pretty regularly, and knock on wood, I have not been sick at all. not even a sniffle. And again, I'm knocking on wood everywhere I can because I don't want to get sick. But there's something to be said. Treat your body. Your body is designed to heal. I say this all the time. You just have to provide it the right vehicle to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
So I know I've heard you mention doing a series of B vitamins into the drip, the taurine. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, B vitamins are another one that, can be complicated for people to use, to take in and use in the body. And some folks actually have the inability to methylate B vitamins. So we use methylated Bs, or at least methylated B12 in our drips, which people really love and feel really great. So it's one of those things that you can get there if your body can't easily do it natural outside of that through food, which of course we want people to eat the rainbow of fruit and vegetables, rainbow of colors, so that they can get all those phytonutrients in. But this is an amazing way if your body can't do that easily on its own, whether it's your gut in the way or genetically you have something like a gene that won't allow you to assimilate that, then you can give it to you this way and it goes right into your bloodstream, which is really wonderful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Taurine. Tell me a little bit about taurine.
It's a really interesting one. I call it a grounding amino acid because it is wonderful for mental health, and cognitive functioning.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. All right, let's talk about one of my favorites, and then I want to talk about a new drip that we're going to be offering, which we'll talk about that in a minute. Quickly, just talk about the NAD drip. I think that is just an amazing drip. I tell people all the time, you did not want to see me for 3 weeks after I had it because I was like the road runner. I, in addition to having bounds of energy, the mental focus and clarity I had was, I can't even describe it. I literally felt like I was 20 again. It was amazing.
That's awesome. What a good thing to feel, huh?
No, right?
Yeah. So
at least around, I have the knowledge to go with it.
I know. Oh, well, energy is an incredibly important thing from day to day. It's one of those things that greatly impacts your quality of life. Mm-hmm. And so many people after perimenopause or even postmenopausal can really feel a depleted energy source. So NAD plus is a great way to pump that up a bit. It is a coenzyme that acts on the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse or power plant of the cell. And we need that to be running really well for us to have our cellular energy impact our day-to-day energy. Mm-hmm. And this is the way to fine-tune that and power it up again. It's kind of like plugging it into one of those speedy chargers that we have for our phones.
Right.
Yeah, and people love it. It is a slow drip, just so you know. It's a slow drip, as you have experienced. It can be 2 hours to 4 hours, depending on what your dosing is and how you can tolerate it. But man, do you feel incredible after.
I can attest to that. They are amazing. How often can you have those?
It depends on, the protocol. If you are really loading up a 4 series, you can actually get them twice a week for 2 weeks or weekly for 4 weeks. And then you come in for a little re-up every now and again, at least quarterly is what I recommend. Mm-hmm. But some people come in monthly.
Oh, okay. So you can do it that frequent.
Yes.
That's something we haven't talked about. So
right.
That. Yeah. All right. Let's wrap up with a new one that we now are able to offer. I think we're good to go on that. I'm not sure. You can tell me. So let's talk about that. Yeah.
The Pico IV?
Yes.
Yay. Yes. So we now have CBD without THC that we can put in a bag, which is phenomenal. The off-label uses for this is also incredible, which we can get into in another podcast. But the CBD infusion, it's made into these, some people have heard of nanomolecules. These are picomolecules, so it actually passes through the blood-brain barrier. And as you know, or we may or may not have already talked about this, I can't remember, Marcia, but we have endocannabinoids all through our body, all through our nervous system and on our organs. Those endocannabinoid receptors, they're just waiting for CBD.
Waiting for us.
Yes, exactly. So the endocannabinoids are everywhere, and one of the best ways to really calm the nervous system, with chemistry, is through CBD. And people have wonderful experiences with, CBD by mouth and tinctures and things like that. But again, the absorption issue can get in the way. So this is an incredible way to really saturate those receptors and calm that nervous system. So it's great for anxiety, insomnia, depression, things like that. Also IBS. And
interesting.
anything that's going to be connected to the nervous system that's hard to treat, this is an awesome thing that you can either do solo in an IV, or you can add it to the existing bag that you already have. So
Wow. Okay. It
nutrition.
really has an effect on the nervous system?
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the presidente of the IV drips because, and quickly, just so our listening audience understands, if you are drug tested at work, it would not affect your drug test.
That's correct.
Because I know that question would come up because a lot of people do get drug tested for work. So.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's tell people how they can get one of these amazing drips.
Okay. Awesome. Well, you can go to the website. You can go to the bevitalwellness.com website, or you can contact me at nurse@bevitalwellness.com or call the clinic at 413-387-0219.
And also offering at Elevate Living Studio in South Deerfield, you can just direct message me at 413-374-2100 or stop by our website, elevatelivingstudio.com. All right, we're going to be back next week with another exciting podcast regarding everything health. We're here to share the health with everybody and have everybody look and feel their best. All right, until next week. I'm Marcia Hawkins along with Stephanie Nascimento of Be Vital in Hadley, Massachusetts. Make it a great week.